Hello, my next guest is Cody Canterbury, an amazing person in my life in this period when I was transitioning from different gyms, and he basically bought a gym and the equipment that we needed to train, and we were all training together. It was a really interesting time in both our lives. And what's really interesting about this, there are a lot of sensitive topics that we talk about, potentially sensitive, I would say. And I talked to Cody first on the side, just what are you comfortable talking about? Because I want to have a conversation about some of these issues and post it online. And there's nothing that he wasn't comfortable talking about. There's nothing that he wasn't willing to discuss. Sometimes I feel like, it's, I like it. If there are issues that somebody wants to talk about offline and then come back and do a podcast with me, and we can touch on some things and leave some things private, that's cool too. This project is for me. It's for anybody who wants to talk about some things. You can know me so far. Everyone that has come on, I know, but I eventually like to reach out to other people. I want to continue this, and I'm in a sense kind of developing my abilities to get deeper. I want to get deeper. Again, I'm looking at life experiences and then looking at the psyche, the things that are going through our heads, and then I like applying that to society. So we'll touch up on all those three things today. Without further ado, Cody Canterbury. Since I'm going to share this and post it, maybe we should put some things in perspective. So let's see. I met you maybe, I'm not sure, after you had fought. You won your first fight, right? That was the one fight that you won, was Karate Pants guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know you then because I saw that video. I remember watching that video in the past, but I did. Do you know how when how much after that, when did we meet? Do you know?
I'm not really sure.
Must have been, could have been 2007 or something. Oh yeah, because we've got a lot of stories. I want to say, let's say, like, how did you get into the mixed martial arts game? Because most of us that you were training with, we all wrestled in high school, wrestled in college. You didn't have any wrestling?
No background in nothing like that.
Nothing. No martial arts when you were little?
No, just Street Fighter. That's it.
Street Fighter in Sacramento, or I know you come from New York or something?
Probably, well, both actually. Well, yeah, New York.
When did you move out here?
1986.
19. And how, like a whole bunch of you moved over here? I mean, your family's so big, it seems like.
Yeah. Let me see how many brothers. Well, I have 7 brothers, 2 sisters.
Yeah. So yeah, that's, and then so okay, that's 86. That's
been out here a long time.
Yeah. And then so what made you start?
I think all my friends were watching that, the UFC and stuff like that, and I was like, and Jeff Gray, I told him I'll try it. So that's when he posted me a fight. I told him I'd try it.
Okay. So yeah, I think because so you did it. So that's, you're one of the you won your first fight, and then you lost the next 9 in a row or something?
Yeah.
Or 10 in a row or something. But whatever. But I respect that, because that's like, I'd say one of the worst records. And I'm not I know I have a lot of friends that have this record, but it's 0-1. And 0-1 is like, it's cool. That's cool. It's like, that tells me, okay, this person wanted to do it. They tried it. And then they decided it wasn't for them. But I wonder how winning the first one made you feel. Did that make you feel like, okay, I'm going to, why did you keep going? 10 losses in a row. I had 4 losses in a row when I retired. So it's like, I think it's good to keep going and be like, okay, you know what? I think it's time to stop.
I guess the money.
Okay.
Just doing it for money. Yeah.
Okay. But at that time, you were making money. You had your little
Yeah.
Russian scam where you were
Mhm.
getting like quite a bit of money just coming in.
Yeah.
The money we got from fights wasn't much, right?
No, not really.
So you just loved it then. You just loved
Yeah, I
it.
just loved it.
All right. All right. So now I want to go back. I mean, this podcast here is it kind of focuses on three things: life experiences, psychology, like what's going through our mind, and then society, kind of like apply that to society at large.
Hmm.
So I want to go back. I think you have an interesting life. And I know, I mean, one huge thing, if you're comfortable talking about it, because I haven't, I've always kind of wanted to know more, but it's such a I mean, I remember you telling me a long time ago, and then I just get like pieces of it, and I wanted to ask more questions, and that's why I asked you, and if you'd be comfortable about it, I guess just one time to get like the whole deal with your brother, and one of your brothers shot another of your
Yeah,
brothers, and it was in rage. It was intentional, or it was, I mean, it
it was
was
intentional.
100% intentional. Like it wasn't an accidental
No,
thing. And this back in New York?
no, this was in California
Okay.
in
And
2002.
okay, so that was 2002. So that wasn't that long before I met you. I mean, that's just such an extreme thing to go through. And so did your brother go to jail? The one that
No, my brother was acquitted. Paul
how
was acquitted of all charges.
how does that work?
They We went to court and the jury acquitted him of all charges.
How do you get an acquittal for killing somebody?
Um, just our testimonies and everything like that. And they said one of the jurors, I ran into him in a store, and he said it wasn't if it wasn't for my testimony, Paul would have been in prison. So he
Okay.
said, yeah, whatever I said was it made him. They got him off.
And it got them off like they weren't able to tell that it actually happened,
They
they
just
weren't.
I think family on family, and then
Okay.
they just they figured out he was the lawyer fucking got him off.
Yeah, wow. That's such an yeah, that's such an extreme thing to go through. I know that was hard on and that's be hard on, I mean, of course, your mother and everything. Uh I know you mentioned she was never the same really, like after that. I mean, how could you be? I mean, I mean, of course, I only have one son. He's young, but that's just like the second he was born, it's like that's
Yeah,
just like it's I mean, it's a constant thing in the back of your mind. I mean, you have kids too. I mean, it's like I mean, I know like losing your mother was difficult, losing, I lost my father and stuff, but I mean, your parents, you lose, it's sad, it's not tragic,
mm-hmm.
but losing a child is so tragic. And of course, in your case, losing your brother, I mean, how did that change the dynamics of your family?
It just changed everything. Nothing was the same no more. Like Christmases, Thanksgivings, anything. It was all different.
Yeah, no, I mean, it has to be, I mean, to this day, right? I mean, is
Hmm.
there,
Yeah, to this day,
is,
actually.
is there, do you ever have family gatherings still, or it's not
Well, we have
everybody at once,
family
smaller?
gatherings, but only some family goes and the others don't.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. A different one. Are you on one? Or are you able to everybody? Are you able to be in everybody's or?
Yeah, I just go to both. It doesn't.
Yeah. So
I
yeah.
try to stay out of the other stuff, like all the drama.
Yeah. Um. So I mean that happened before I met you. I just want to put some things in perspective. I know you were also had a little run of stealing motorbikes or something. Was that
Yes,
prior to that or before that or after that? Because you were in.
that was before that.
Okay, so that's before that was
Yeah,
in how long were you doing that? Because you ended up going to jail or prison, or that was a.
I did a year house arrest, but they did take us to jail for the night. But then I
Okay.
got a year house arrest and first degree burglary. So
Okay. And because when I met you, you were you on probation or on parole or on
I was on probation.
for that, and it was for that
Yeah.
incident.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so that must have been you must have been on probation pretty long time because that happened prior to 2002. I met you probably 2007 or something. So you had like
Yeah.
that had to be over 5 years
I
of.
was on probation for like 5 years, I
Okay.
think.
Okay.
And then I caught another case in Placer County.
Oh, doing what was that all about?
That was pills. Had a
Okay.
bunch of pills on me and growth hormone.
Okay. Now that one, yeah, that one was close. That happened before I met you or after I met you? Because that's very familiar. That's because
Uh,
you were the pill man when I met you. You're definitely running around selling
I
pills.
think it was after you met me, actually,
Yeah,
because
yeah. Because that's when I remember you having what were they Norcos or something. Those were the
yeah,
things and I you probably had other stuff too, but that's just what seemed like was
yeah,
um,
anything, everything.
yeah. I mean those are the main
And
things.
then
So,
I caught a case for that, and then they said I was looking at like 13 years because I was already on felony probation, so they were trying to.
oh,
Do it. But then I got lucky because one of the
oh, look at that man bun. Let me
commission,
see that man bun real quick. Give me a full side turn. Nice. Oh my God, I love it.
the
Wow.
one of
I
the commission was my
okay.
um he worked for our defense team, and so he knew who I was. He's all, I know who you are, and I was all, hey, he's on part of the commission, and he's also, I got lucky. He's the one that helped me out a lot. He got me house arrest.
Okay.
Well, I
Okay.
had to do drug court and everything like that, but he got me out of the prison, the prison time and everything like that. So that
See,
was cool.
yeah, did you have an ankle band when sometime?
Yeah, I did. I was on house arrest for a year. I don't know
Yeah,
if I
okay.
had.
Were we slipping out of that?
No,
Okay, I remember we were able to slip out. It didn't seem possible. We heard about it. We were able to like
that's one thing
heat it up
I
with
didn't
hot
try
water,
that.
and he was able to slip out of it. Maybe it wasn't on that.
Really, I didn't try that though.
No, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. That's risky business. So then there's that incident. I was still in Sacramento where you 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 were taken to the hospital because you were like in unconscious
Yeah,
because you okay. So I mean, you know, during that time, I was kind of using drugs, meth, and popping some pills, but the pills were just nice to come down off that kind of, and then sometimes you'd have some coke and we'd like
Mhm.
you'd have it and we knew where you stored it and you knew it. I mean, you always weighed it, so you knew we were skimming off it. Most of the time, you kind of let it slide. But I remember one time, like, yeah, me and Bias were just like, just kept cutting a little bit too much. And you're like, wow, man, whoa, what did you guys do? But 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 for the most part, you weren't really using, were you? Or I mean,
No,
you weren't using
I
anything
wasn't.
at all?
No, nothing at that time. No.
None of the pills even? Or yeah,
Sometimes the pills,
yeah, okay.
but
So
yeah,
so then what yeah, what now I think I remember I remember it being a big deal. Getting a call from somebody, you're in the hospital because this is like back. I know fentanyl is like an
yeah,
epidemic now in America where it's like laced with stuff, but at this time it's like the fentanyl patches that people would put on
yeah,
you.
yeah. It was a
But you
patch.
but you
I put it
put it
on
in your
my
mouth.
tongue. Yeah, I put it on my tongue,
You put it on
and
your tongue.
yeah, and then that's when I almost died.
And the I don't know, the funny thing, but the crazy thing is you actually were like unconscious in the hospital, and then they like released you, and then you're like, oh, what's this? And it was still on
Yeah,
your
I had it in my
tongue.
mouth, so yeah,
So
I
they
took
didn't
it
even.
out.
So no, they
No,
didn't know what you did. Then I guess nobody told them, or nobody knew.
I can't remember. I can't remember actually. They just asked, "Were you trying to kill yourself?" And I said,
Okay,
"No." I said, "I just tried it to take it, and that was
that
a
was
bad thing."
that was that the first time you did that under your
Hmm.
tongue?
Yeah, I never did that again.
did somebody tell you that's the way to do it, or you just figured? I mean, because
I just said I put the patch on. It didn't work that way, so I was like, oh, I'll try to eat it, and that's what happened.
Yeah, okay, that wasn't that good.
All I remember is waking up in the hospital.
Yeah, that's crazy. So that was, yeah, I forget what year that was. But then speaking of, there was that one time that we got to mention that one, right? That not that long after we met, but yeah, I feel like we cornered you before that. The Dustin Aquabari fight, who's, you know, he's a badass jiu-jitsu black belt, you know, good MMA fighter. And you told us one day that you fought on shrooms and you were like invincible. Was that back in?
That was that fight.
New York. No. But I mean, the reason why we came up with the idea to fight on shrooms, which is probably the most ridiculous idea ever. But you told us that you would be able to fight on shrooms because you fought on shrooms once in real life, right? Like in a street fight or something.
You know what? I don't remember.
Okay, because I remember,
right?
Because then I kind of held you to it. You said you could fight on shrooms, and then I remember you getting shrooms like maybe a week before your fight. You had like a big bag, and then like always, we were always doing that. You knew we were always doing that, like sneaking into your stash, right?
Mm-hmm.
You kind of could always know because I know you're selling and dealing. You know exactly how much you have, how much everything. But I remember you kind of getting mad at us. You're like, "That's for the fight." but there's still plenty of them, you know. Yeah. So there's still plenty. We're like, there's plenty, and there was plenty, right? How did you feel going in that fight? So you took two shrooms with their caps or something. I mean,
and some
a proper
Parmesan.
Dose. What's that?
And I did a couple of shots of Parmesan with Eli.
Oh, okay, yeah, going into that fight, and this is at Tachi Palace, right? And this was like the first year that they changed it. Like it used to be kind of like regular, you know, walking in on cement floor. This one was like a glass floor, lights lit up. I mean,
I don't remember none of that.
Oh, it was intense. And then Akabari coming from Uriah's gym. I mean, he's just got this you know, this posse behind him. I mean, hitting pads, bam, bam, bam. It was intense. And it for us, I mean, for me and Eli, we were cornering. We were like, it was intense, man. It was one of the most intense times in our life. But you went out there. Do you remember how you felt?
I remember just seeing lights. That was it.
Yeah, yeah. I think you were a little slow. I mean, off the gate because you went out there. The fight didn't go that long. One of the most funny lines I ever heard because it was so intense. That was just the whole intense night. The lights, the sounds, everything. I mean, I've never, well, yeah, I did actually though. Yeah, I mean, Bice fought in E and I fought in Coke that one time, but I guess E would be crazy to fight on too, and Bice pulled it off. But that's a different story. I mean, you're shrooming, you're off it. I remember Eli going, "Oh, well, we did it." And I was like, what, cornered on shrooms? I mean, because, yeah, that's all we did. That was like one of the most intense moments of my life. And I was only cornering you. So it just has to be intense. I don't even know what that would feel like to fight. But anyway, I don't want to glorify drugs at all. I'm glad I got them. I'm glad I cut those out of my life.
If I could do it again, I would never do it again.
You would never do that again, fight on shrooms?
No. Mm-mm.
Well, would you ever fight again?
Yes, I would.
You would. So I mean, I want to get into that though. So I always respect. I mean, I respected everybody. Kind of people kind of knew sometimes I was doing meth, and there's the people that I did meth with, and then there's people that I didn't. I try to kind of respect that, and not, but times cross. I'm sure I was high plenty of times. But I always took it as. I mean, you were kind of against that, right? I mean, you were kind of against meth. Was meth involved at all with the?
Yeah, I started
brothers shooting or anything. I mean,
drugs were, yeah.
Drugs were of some sort, like hard drugs, not.
Yeah.
Okay, and that would have turned you against it more. I mean, is that?
Yeah, it did.
Were you involved before that? Did you ever do hard drugs?
No, I didn't do nothing.
So you never really did hard drugs your whole life, and then all of a sudden,
Then
somehow,
one day, my friend at work, we were doing a flooring job. He's all, here, try this. And I was like, no, dude, no. And I was hella tired. I was like, oh, fuck it. So I did it, and that was it.
snorted it then, or
Yeah,
and then you ended up smoking it too, or
yeah.
yeah, and then you ever shot it up?
No, I never did that.
No, no, yeah, I never did either. I'm actually kind of glad I never did that. But smoking it was always smoking it or snorting it, mixing it up with stuff. So I mean, so you were so he got so that was just so then you would get it from him or you get it from people or
Yeah, I
uh
would just get it from other people I knew.
and would you do
So
it by yourself then or would you?
I do it by myself, or I do it with somebody else sometimes. But that was just
Yeah,
by myself for like
yeah. And how long did that go on
for a
before
while,
for your
and then
over a year?
huh?
Over a year?
Yeah, and then I came. I guess I don't remember. I came home one day and I went to the bathroom, and that was it.
That's
I,
the last thing.
I woke up in the hospital again. But then
That
that's when I
time
was so
you passed out, you had a pipe in your hand or something. I mean, so
yeah.
the the jury is out at that time. And so I mean your wife is like uh didn't have any clue up until then, or she
No,
was
nothing.
suspecting it.
She didn't.
So no, that's and then so so you came out of that hospital and you were paralyzed?
Well, yeah. Well, when I woke up, my left side was paralyzed, arm and my leg. I regret that day
Of
a lot.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, so you've gone through all this shit in your life, but yeah, that could easily break a man, but you've never been broken until that moment, maybe.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I never been broke until then.
Even I tried to break you all those Shark Tanks and stuff. We got close to breaking you, man. Yeah, we want fresh guy in every minute, training for those fights.
I
You're
hated
close.
that.
There were a couple times. I mean, you said what you said. Some funny. There were. Oh, what are they? There were some good lines you said. There, everybody when they're in that. I mean, but that's what we're doing. We go until you break.
Mm-hmm.
That's the goal to break in practice. Don't break on in the ring or the cage or something. So yeah. I mean, you're such. I mean, I look at you. You're a man's man for sure. And but what made that what was different about that the fact that you physically felt like you couldn't move part of your body or the fact that you let your family down or like you is
I let my
shame or physical what aspect was
shame, pretty much shame,
shame wow okay
and then physical when I realized that I can't walk or nothing no more. So I had to work at that for a while.
so that was left side not waist up left side actually your left
Mm-hmm.
leg couldn't move even
Left arm, left leg.
left leg left arm but you could still get it up you were still
Yeah,
didn't you that's amazing right you and
that's
you even in
wonderful.
that even in the hospital in that hospital you were
Yeah.
so I mean that's a good thing because uh I mean I know you've gone through depression. I mean, I guess depression started at that moment or and when did you
I think it just started. Well, yeah, I was depressed really when I couldn't move again. Like, no, I couldn't move, and then so I guess that's probably when it started. But it's gotten worse. Some days are worse. Some days are good. Some days are bad.
yeah yeah um and then
But I do understand why people do commit suicide. I know
okay
that
so
because it is hard. Like some days when I had a bad day, like I had a bad day the other day, and that's when I felt like hurting myself.
so that those are the suicidal thoughts
Yeah, that's those are the
are
worst things. Like,
pervasive
well,
in your thoughts. So what can you take me through that? What does it feel like to be
I don't. It
actually want to
just
take your life? Just like
I'm done. Forget it. Time to call it quits.
it's just easier. It would just be
Mhm.
easier to go. So it's is it Why don't you? What's preventing you from doing it?
The kids,
Okay.
because I think about that.
What you'd leave behind, that how it would make things worse for them.
Yeah, I would say, no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do think about it, but I think, like I ain't got it so bad, I'm
Mhm.
working out walk, if I could ever run again, that'd be the top thing.
Okay, so that's so I imagine it's gotten better because you can walk. I mean, you're. I mean, yeah,
A
I
little
remember
better.
talking to you. I remember you not. I mean, I remember when you were paralyzed. I mean, I got to see you kind of progress,
Hmm.
walk. So you can't run, but you walk fine.
A
You're
little bit.
running on
I
the
walk on
treadmill
one.
at a decent speed. What like speed walking or what?
I hold on, but I get now I'm up to like a 3.5. So I've been doing a lot better. Because when I started, I was only like at a 1.1, and that was it. So
Okay,
it just takes time.
yeah,
And the guy from church helps me out a lot.
yeah.
He's like, I mean, he knows his stuff.
He went through the same thing too, right?
Yeah,
Of
he
some.
drove a cement truck and he wrecked it and broke his neck.
Oh,
So he was like,
full
he
paralyzed.
was he'd wear one of those neck things.
Yeah,
I seen a picture of him, yeah, and he couldn't walk or nothing either.
yeah.
And now he can run and everything.
So that's kind of inspiration for you.
Yeah, it is.
And so that is that does that play its part in when you have suicidal thoughts
Yeah,
that
that does help actually a lot.
that
When
I
I go
mean
to the gym with him, it helps me. It puts my mind other places, and when I'm working out, I can think of different stuff.
so one thing I mean as you know like I'm I'm not a therapist but I just got my doctorate in psychology and I want to understand one of my for me I think I could like I know addiction I understand that because I've gone through it but when it comes to depression, I have to be honest, I don't understand it. It just seems like I kind of want to know what goes on through the mind of somebody who feels so depressed that yeah they want to take their life because to me I just think like logically right now you don't want to take your life but you've
No,
right do you right now
no, no.
this moment right you don't want to take your life so and right now so you're thankful that you didn't take your life before right
Yeah,
so is it like at that moment when you feel like taking your life, are you able to make like a logical connection and say, okay, I felt like this before, but then there was a time after that that I was thankful that I didn't. Therefore, I shouldn't kill myself. Is that thought process in there at all?
yeah.
Or
I try to stop and I think about stuff and try to do stuff to make my mind just get away from it. So
yeah.
that's what I try to do.
And how long does it last? How long does like a suicide? How long do you have to like how long would a suicidal thought is it hours days minutes
Probably a couple of
temporary
hours.
okay so it's not you have you ever been suicidal for like days
No.
okay so it is just hours uh and then and so so now like are I kind of feel like that we know that things that don't kill us make us stronger
Hmm.
but at the same time I mean you can't just completely just say that there are some things that could make us weaker. I mean, are you because I've always known you as yeah, just being so resolute kind of in your in like I said, you can't be broken. Are you stronger or I mean, or do other things are there things that you're weaker because of that? Are you are, in other walks of life? So in like doing chores or type things or something that are you gonna have less desire to do things, or do you feel like
Sometimes, sometimes I don't want to do nothing, but my wife makes me get up and do stuff. So there's no way I'm getting out of that.
yeah,
Rose is all, nope, you're gonna do it. I'm like, all right.
yeah, yeah. So uh well, that's yeah. And you still have your man cave, don't you? Is that's where you have a you have a treadmill and garage or
Uh,
something? Or no, you go to the gym for
oh
that.
no, she actually we got rid of it.
Okay.
The treadmill and the weight machine. We got rid of it.
Why is that? Just because you go to the
Just
gym,
to
you need the
take up
room?
room. We were not using it. We got a gym pass, so we're better off going to the gym.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And yeah, wow. So that's yeah, there's a yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I want to yeah, I want to know more about like this like so now there's you I know you kind of went to I mean so other fixes, alcohol, weed.
Just I do cannabis. That's it. And sometimes,
Okay.
and I
And
drink sometimes.
yeah, but not yeah, you never I mean, yeah, for my perspective, I've never saw you as that's why it's so surprising to find out that yeah, that you were smoking meth and stuff. I was like, wow, I wouldn't have expected that because you never uh yeah, I guess you
Stupid choice that I wish I never did.
absolutely yeah, no, I mean that's there's a lot. And yeah, I've got and there's some other people I might talk about if they're comfortable, they might not be comfortable. Some have gone into law enforcement and stuff, so I might not be able to get them. I appreciate your candidness, being being able to talk about it. I mean, it's good. It's easier to talk about when it's in the past because
Yeah,
we can kind of demonstrate that we came out of it. It might have not been as easy at the time, or I mean, so I mean, were you in like I mean, you were hiding it from everybody, so nobody knew that has to make it. That was one of the things I tried not. I mean, I wouldn't maybe bring it up in some cases, but I never hit it. That was like I tried to just hey, got to be up front about it. Hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm gonna take a couple weeks off after a fight or something and just go on a binge. Um, but let me. So I mean, meth is a hell of a drug. Let me ask kind of what everybody kind of gets into it and does different things. How many was it? Just a one? I remember when I first did it. I did it for a long time where it was just I'd do it once, like, and stay up and still sleep that night, maybe take some pills or something. And I remember I went a long time before I started like staying up at night. And then
hmm
after a while, then it was like stay up for 2 nights. And then like, after 2 nights, you start seeing like shadow people. After three
yeah. I
nights,
never
you
that
never,
never did that. It never did that to me.
how
I
long, how
never
many days did you
like
see?
paranoia didn't really do
I
that to
I mean,
me.
because it doesn't happen. It takes like, it's like, yeah, first you see the shadow people, another night, then
Yeah,
they start like they start
talking.
talking to you. Another night you start
That's
talking
my
back. By like the fourth or fifth, sixth night, they're like laughing at you. You can't leave the house. I remember trying to go to like a corner store to get a Gatorade. I couldn't make it there because they're just like in the trees, just
oh.
laughing at me and stuff. And it's like this shit. Fuck
See, that never
fun.
then that never did that to me.
You never experienced any of that. So,
No, I
uh,
never did.
so
I think it actually I think calmed me down like a lot.
interesting. Well, that's interesting too because yeah, different minds. I notice some people are like that, just like the Ritalin ADHD
Mhm.
drugs get
Because
me
different.
up. They're basically I've taken some of those. Yeah, it's like I'm on meth basically, and then other people it calms them down. So there's definitely so if it calmed you down, that means you're an ADHD. Then it seems like, but yeah, I don't
Maybe.
think of you as ADHD. I mean, it usually the people that it calms down are the people that would be prescribed some one of those things, Ritalin or Adderall or something. But uh, so
No,
that's
I think it did calm me down because I'd go do stuff by myself, criminal activities,
okay.
and I did everything by myself.
Okay,
I
so you're
never,
still doing criminal activities. That wasn't even
learn how to pick locks.
Okay.
I can pick any lock now.
Okay.
I learned that by myself. I learned a lot of stuff. So I would always go to like Roseville to new homes and do stuff by myself. So I never the only one who could tell on like the way I thought about it is the only one who could tell on me is me. That was it.
Yeah, that's okay. So when you got rolled up for that uh motorcycles, did somebody tell on you, or you're just getting kind of
Somebody told on me, and then they raided all of us.
and and then the pills too that you got caught at in Placer County, or wherever that was, somebody told on you?
Yeah, one of the some guy I knew he wanted to meet me that night, and I said no because I had my daughter with me, and I was like no,
Oh yeah,
and he got pulled over downstairs, and they asked him who you going to see, and I was already on felony probation, so when he said my name, that was it. That's all they needed, and they knocked on the
oh,
door and came in. But they were I give it the Placer County cops are really cool because they could have took they he said
you're
so
with
what do
your
you know
daughter at
about
that
this?
time.
Yeah, and I said it's mine. I said it's all mine. I had a cooler with everything in it. And I said, yeah, it's all mine. And then I was all, can I call my mom to come get my daughter? And he said, yeah. And he let her come all the way from the North Highlands to pick her up in Roseville. And
Yeah.
then they took me to jail. But that was all them. I gave him hell of
Yeah,
respect for that.
yeah, you're so cool. I mean, you're calm. You're so calm and collected. I mean, yeah, you could, yeah, I can totally see how that, how that be play out. That's, I mean, yeah, no, I know you're thinking like, oh, this, yeah, it's very,
And I
just,
knew that, like there was no way it was mine. And I got busted for it. So I was like, oh, well.
yeah, well,
But
yeah, just,
the cops were really cool to me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, so what about now? So, I mean, you talk about crime, drugs in the past is easy to put it behind us. Are you up to anything now, or are you,
I can't even do nothing.
oh shit, yeah, you can do that. That's a, so you can, you
I get
can,
it for the better, I guess, for the best.
yeah. I mean, you could if you, but you're not good at computers like the
Mm-mm.
Russians. Okay.
No. Those
Uh,
guys got skills.
yeah, yeah. Okay, wow, that's good. Um, yeah, wow. So that's so we talked about a lot of your life experiences and then some of some uh some psychology stuff, depression. I'm just interested in that. I want to, and you're one of the few people. I've said this. I said this in one of my other podcasts about like what I'd like this to do. I think I think talking is great. I'm not expecting like to get this huge following. In a lot of ways, most of the people that watch this are going to be people that know you and know me and are maybe interested, and then maybe they'll want to join me. I think I just have this. I think talking is so important for everything. Even if you don't have any psychological issue, just wow, it feels good to talk. Now I know that the fact that I'm recording this and it is going to be posted changes some things, but it doesn't seem like it changed anything for you. You're exactly candid, and I even talked to you before. I mean you're comfortable, which I respect. I also would respect if somebody doesn't feel comfortable talking about um all these, just things. I don't want to ever put anybody on the spot, so I'm comfortable talking about anything in my past. If anybody ever asks me a question, I'll be forthcoming. I got some shit that's like, whoa. But I mean, but it is easier to uh yeah, just talk to, yeah. Anyway, so I mean that's what I think people benefit from when they have therapy. And I would like to like offer therapy in at some point, but like at the same time, it's like, yeah, it's therapeutic. Just talking is therapeutic. This is therapy for me. I love talking about just life. And so now this, if you can jump back in, this is gonna cut out in about a minute. So I don't want to get on to my next the next topic, and that's gonna be like applying it to society. So we're gonna, can you log in? You're free. You can log back in. Same hit that same URL.
I don't know.
All right, so we're back here. So I I want to talk about this. Um, because I've been gone from, it's been 11 years out of America and stuff. So I'm just kind of peering in from the outside, through social media posts and stuff mostly. And then, I just have internet. I don't have a TV or anything, but I can get some news stuff, I guess, on like YouTube or something. And stuff pops up. So there's a lot of things going on relative to some of what we were talking about. And I guess I want to know how it's changed. I see stuff. A lot of stuff I see just makes it seem like it's just. I mean, the like American River where we used to swim is like covered with hypodermic needles and homeless people and stuff. And this I've already talked to a lot of people. I mean, fentanyl crisis, but it's kind of like, I mean, we had friends, I mean, the Grizz and P folks that were, I mean, I think that they were overdosed on like Oxycontin, but maybe, but it was weird. Those were weird incidences, like to, so I don't know if it was going on back then, if we just didn't know it. I never even knew it. Fentanyl, I learned about fentanyl because of I never even knew what that was. And yeah, it was a patch. It was like kind of a new thing. So it seems like it's definitely increased. I mean, the whole thing, the oxys, luckily for me, I remember taking oxys. I hate them. They make me irritable. Luckily, I never got into the opiates. They just the uppers for me was just meth, coke, whatever, but meth way more than coke. Coke didn't last very long. It was like a half hour or something. It's kind of boring. And so it seems like there's an epidemic. When I look at stuff, it seems, but is it worse than it was before? Or, I mean, on the ground, what do you see personally?
I think it's worse. I think the fentanyl's bad and just the drugs now, because everything's laced with a lot of fentanyl and kids are dying.
So do they even lace meth with fentanyl?
Yeah, they do.
So I mean, do you know what the purpose is? Is that
I don't know. I don't know what it is because that's a upper and a downer. It's weird, huh?
Yeah, I mean, is it just something to cut? Is it cheap and it's just like kind of enhances it? Like because we mix stuff. Like sometimes you put a little something just to enhance it, and you can dilute it, like dilute the amount of pure coke and add a little fentanyl and baking soda or something, and it's like, is it just a money that you think, or there's some nefarious actor behind that's trying to kill people?
I have no clue.
Yeah, no, I guess we wouldn't. So that, I mean, so that's the real issue. And so, I mean, and in the past, I remember how did you get all your pills? You would get them from real people who got prescriptions, but you were, that was the main way to get them. You weren't, or were you robbing pharmacies?
No.
Okay, so you would just
people get a script.
So you just knew somebody that got prescription, but they were able to get like a ridiculous amount of prescriptions.
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah. Some people got busted for that.
Oh, the actual person.
Yeah.
And then of course I imagine the doctors. I mean, they should be able to recognize this person shouldn't be taking that many. I mean, they shouldn't. It seems like they were taking them beyond their dose, or if they were actually getting that many, or doctors.
Some people would get a lot.
Yeah, and need it.
I think it's just it's all your numbers. That's it. If you can get many, it's all numbers and all money. It's all money.
So you're not in that game anymore?
No, I'm not.
So that's good. So you're not responsible for anybody dying, because I've talked to some people now. I mean, it seems regular. I mean, do you know anybody who's died from a fentanyl overdose? Or
fentanyl? Yeah, actually, our neighbor, our neighbor, her husband, ex-husband. He said he was going to go home and do a line of fentanyl, and that was it. He died.
So he was actually doing a line of fentanyl on purpose. So that wasn't
I guess, or something. But that was crazy.
So yeah, that's crazy. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that I'm not there. Or I mean, I'm not. It wasn't like that when I was there, because I remember, what was it that? HGB or something at Uncle Paulie's house.
Oh, yeah.
I slipped into that, man. I mean, I was out for a while. I mean, I don't know when I woke up, but I didn't know I would do all of something that was there. So, I mean, I definitely would have overdosed if there was stuff around, lying around. I mean, I just take, I mean, it seems so dangerous. Yeah. I mean, in a way though, that's like, it's awakening. I mean, it almost puts it in, like, I remember there's a lot of people I know that I respect they've never touched drugs because they were so scared that if you touch drugs, you're going to automatically become an addict and die of an overdose. Like some people were just scared shitless in school. Those drug dare program and all those, like those campaigns to keep it worked. There's some people that were absolutely convinced that if they touched marijuana that they would become an addict immediately and end up dying from a drug overdose. But and that was ridiculous, of course, but it worked. It kept some people from even touching it, which did save lives because some people do. But now it seems like it's really is scary now. Like that's actually, it's almost legitimized that claim. Like if you even get involved in drugs now, it seems like you're going to die of an overdose within a couple of years or something. I mean,
a lot of people, yeah.
It's just a matter of time. So that's so intense. I'm glad you're out of it. I'm glad I'm out of it. And I hope, I mean, that's just so scary that, I've seen these. Okay. So this is some of the stuff I see on social media. I see these like zombie places where there's like now this isn't in California necessarily, but maybe there is a lot. I mean, okay, let's talk about San Francisco. Yeah, I see stuff in San Francisco where there's just like these. I mean, is it really so? Some I see people like walking down the streets and just. I mean, we were there like 7th and Mission. I remember like scoring some crack, and it was like pretty bad, I guess. But have you been San Francisco? Is it worse?
No, I think it's still the same.
Okay,
I don't think it's worse.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, it's hard to get worse than that. I mean, the worst places I've ever been in California are North Hollywood. People that don't know California, they would think that's like a glamorous place. No, that's and like South Las Vegas, like south of the old strip, like those places. I remember those are the two worst places I've ever been in California. 7th Mission at night. It's not quite as bad, but not so good. But these are like so I mean that's good. Okay, so I know the news media tends to, and social media, and just the abundance of information. It is easier to make things look worse than they are. So you don't think it's that much worse, or that it's not necessarily worse than.
I don't think so, but you have to live down there.
Yeah. Do you think it's better? Do you think anything improved in any way?
No.
Okay, so it's not that much different. Now, so okay, talking about society. So another thing that just seems really common. Now, of course, this is Pride Month, and I know one of your brothers is gay, so it's like and he's hella cool and stuff. I always love him. It's fun, but now that's the thing. Like it's not about gay anymore. It's there's so many extra letters that they've added to this thing. I mean, like that it's become political. Like I mean, I guess there's an aspect of like gay being political because for a while there. I mean, yeah, not that long ago, being gay was like, there's a lot of conservatives that were like anti-gay. I don't think there's any, I almost feel like there's like transgenderism movement and like people are called transphobic. If it's so weird, like you're transphobic if you don't want a transgender person competing in male or in female sports, like, which is completely reasonable and not like that's not saying I don't see anybody even saying, hey, there's any problem with somebody you know, acting like, I mean, we have those in Thailand, you know, lady boys. I mean, some men dress up as women. Maybe they get a sex change. A lot of times I don't think they go all the way through the sex change, but I mean, I don't think anybody is going to, people don't really have a problem with that, right?
No, I don't think so. Well,
Right. I
some
mean,
people
that's the
do,
thing, like that, but then there's still this, like this. Yeah. I mean, people do whatever you want to do. You want to do that. You want to do this,
yeah.
but then there's this, that's not enough. Like just, they want things like, I guess the kid, that's when it really sparked, was the kids, like that if a child wants to be, I mean, because I remember I went through a stage, I didn't want to be a girl. I thought I'd be a girl. I mean, I didn't understand what sex was, and I thought maybe I'd become a girl when I got older, or like, I mean, I remember going through weird stages, but I'm just thinking, if somebody would have told me at that moment, like, okay, you should, that's who you are, and like, we're going to, like, again, I'm against pharmaceuticals, so that's a big thing. Once I hear like giving kids drugs to stop their puberty, which, I mean, when we go through puberty, that's kind of when we develop and find ourselves, who we are sexually anyway. So it's like, to disrupt that just seems so so terrible. And I remember growing up, we think of, like, we'd see the foot binding, because in ancient China or something, that was beautiful, and then like how we were so against that and thinking how terrible that was, which it was. But now they're talking about like breast binding and all these things to children. Is now again, I'm in the media loves to make things more extreme than it is. Is that a big deal, or is it just a couple of little pockets where something happened and they make it a big deal? Or I mean, because you've got kids in schools. I mean, what's going on with all that?
I think, well, if you're gay, you're born gay. It's something you're born with. It's not nothing you choose. Because I know my brother, like, we knew he was different when he was
Yeah.
young. So
Yeah.
you just know, you just know it. They're born with it, and they don't choose it. You don't choose it, but that's life.
So yeah. So that's interesting. Sometimes I think, and I mean, I'd actually, I would love to discuss this with somebody who can identify it as like a transgender. That's something I want to know. I know it's different. Somebody I mean, there is, but maybe there isn't. I guess it's this. What if somebody would have, I mean, he's happily gay, right? Like your brother's happily gay. Did he ever express wanting to be a woman?
No, he never did.
So I mean, and I think there are differences between that, but I'm wondering, I guess I wonder when this trans, just because I'm against, I mean, I'm against in general pharmaceuticals and surgeries and vaccines and medical intervention at all. I mean, if I get injured, yeah, I would appreciate some, the emergency room to maybe fix a bone, even though there's certain things, even sometimes, I mean, one of my jaw, when I fractured my jaw once, and it healed on its own. So, and then another time I got the thing, but anyway, I mean, generally medical intervention, there's time and place for it. Definitely, I'm for less than more. But I'm wondering if somebody that they're pressing to be transgender is actually just a healthy, they grow up to be just a healthy gay person, rather than trying to change their gender. Now again, I'd like to discuss this. So do you know anybody who do you have any do you know anybody or hear about somebody at one of your kids' schools or close to you that is not gay but actually transgender?
Not really, no.
Okay, so yeah, that I guess, so I'm gonna reach out. I want to talk that. It's like, I don't want to tell somebody what Yeah, I want to know. I want to know. But I do want to ask: is it possible, somebody who's transgender, is it possible that you're just gay, and especially somebody that's under the age of puberty, like that's when you develop it? Now, at the same time, it makes sense. I guess the argument is it would be, if somebody does want to go through a full sex change, it would be easier when they were younger because their body hasn't developed. But like, wow, that's such an extreme uh, thing to do, because I didn't know what I mean, I thought I was going to be a quarterback for the Miami Dolphins when I was like in high school still. I mean, I was 14, and that's absolutely, and there, and I was third string wide receiver, and we don't even pass in high school. We did it run. So it's like basically my only job, if I ever go out on the field, is to run as far as possible so that cornerback can't make a tackle for whoever we hand the ball off to. But anyway, so I had delusional thoughts to some degree. And I mean, we don't know. I mean, when we're young, we don't know what we're going to be. But anyway, enough about that, because it's just it's a weird thing. Now, I do want to disclose. Yeah, I'm anti-pharmaceutical to an extent. I know Rosa is. I am, but I do want to say that you did mention that you went off. You're taking some pharmaceuticals for depression. You went off them, and that's when you felt suicidal.
Yeah. Yes. So I think some medicine does work.
I mean, it does. It does. Obviously, I can't disagree with that. If you're often, I guess the only concern would be that there are side effects, and that's always my thing. Same with vaccines. Vaccines definitely they prevent what they're trying to prevent. I agree with that. Pharmaceuticals, they do what they're supposed to do. They'll lower your cholesterol. They'll prevent you from having suicidal thoughts. They'll do what they have to do, but there's a backside to it too, and there's side effects. So we have to weigh them out. For most things, I think natural immunity is going to be stronger. For most things like blood pressure, I think there's different routes, even insulin. All these things we're just like, once you start doing heavy things to your body, changing your body systems, then other body systems are going to change, and it's going to require more pharmaceuticals. So I guess that would be my one concern for you, is that in long-term use of pharmaceuticals that prevent you from having suicidal thoughts could change other body systems, or it could make it, if you came off them, then you'll feel really suicidal. So when you did come off those for a couple of days, was it worse than the initial suicidal thoughts that you had when you were just?
It was worse.
So it was worse. So I mean, would it be fair to say that the pharmaceuticals have helped, but then also made it worse, because now would you say you're addicted to them? I mean, you're not addicted, because you were out and you didn't say, like, you weren't physically addicted where you needed them, but it has maybe, I mean, it could be permanently reshaping your brain, so you need those. If you go off them, it could be worse than.
True. That's true.
Before. But I mean, it's a scary place to be. And I mean, because I'd say don't, for something like depression, suicidal thoughts, it seems like the pharmaceuticals, if you don't take them, you could reach that state. But is there a way to are they just going to up the dose, have they upped the dose since you've been on them, or is there?
You know what? I'm not really sure.
And I wonder if there's a way to reduce the dose at some point, or.
I don't know. I don't know. When I talk to psychiatrists, sometimes he's the one that makes all the recommendations.
Yeah. I mean, it would be nice to know if they have treatment plans that include reduction of the dose, because there's other, through diet and other just cognitive behavioral techniques that can like go do things. It would be nice to know, but I mean, because I know that yeah, I don't think you're gonna go shoot up any schools or anything, but I know that sometimes some of these there are some a lot of the times the people that do mass shootings were on some medication and then or something and they went off. I mean that's scary to consider and think about. And then of course the answer would be just stay on your meds, but then it's like uh but is it just moving it further down the line? You know, what about 20, 30 years from now or something? Is it, and if you were on them and you intended to increase, if you went off them, then how severe would it be? You know, like I mean, it could be, but it sounds like suicidal thoughts for you are about taking your own life.
Yeah, not nobody else's.
You've never had that, of course. Mm-hmm. So there's I mean, there's different issues. Yeah, different people are gonna have different experiences, and it could, you know, it's hard to say anything is like causes something. That there's usually some underlying issues as well, and that's something, and that's actually, so that's one thing why I'm a little bit, I'd be uncomfortable talking to some people about these issues, because I feel like to some degree I'm insensitive of like the condition of like being, sometimes I feel like if I were to talk to somebody that was suicidal, that I might say the wrong thing, you know, even though, because I'm not a trained psychologist, right? I haven't to be a licensed psychologist, you need at least 1,000 hours working under somebody, and they do that. So I mean, that's like disclosure for me. I'm not I wouldn't be able to navigate this area with somebody who's like, see, this is the thing, the back of my mind, I just have this like this. See, I don't want to say something that I don't think this is going to cause you to commit suicide, but like I just don't see you. I just can't see. It's hard for me to believe, or to like, no, dude, like, no, you actually feel suicidal. I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine it. To me, I just think like, no, you wouldn't do it. And of course you haven't done it. So but I know when I talk to you that you have been in that position. So where you really is that dark, and you really are considering it. Of course, you never have gone through with it, which mostly it sounds like because of your kids. You know, you don't want to do that to them, but you think if you were by yourself, you would have, or
yes,
yeah, like you can say that, so. Not even, it sounds, that sounds like sincere. So that's intense stuff, man. That's intense stuff. But I appreciate you talking about it. So okay, so I guess this part of these conversations that I have with people are to help me develop. So you're the first person that I've talked to about depression, because you are the, like I said, the most resolute. I just see you as, I don't see you as doing it. So I feel like I can touch on this, talk about it. I don't think, you know that I'm going to make things worse. But from your perspective and being depressed, the way I talk about it, the way I approach it, would that be, I guess two things. Would that be, do you think I could, I might push somebody over the edge? I'm insensitive about it, like, or do you think it's good to be upfront about it, or talk about it directly?
It's good to be upfront about it.
Okay, so for can you give me advice if I were to ask somebody about, like, I because I want to, in the future, if I talk to somebody else who's depressed, I want to ask them, like, basically I want to ask like what it's like I'm same thing with like, it intrigues me, like but I don't I don't want to make somebody feel like, I don't know. What are what's the right way to approach it, you think?
Yeah, and I don't really know.
How
Um, I
like,
guess just ask how they're doing,
mm-hmm,
how they're thinking about life and everything.
yeah. So what about you?
What's their good days and what's their bad days?
Okay, okay, okay. Those are good questions. So, what's your good day? What's a good day for you?
Waking up.
Well, yeah, well, that's wonderful. That's oh, what's a bad day? Same answer.
Hmm. Bad
What,
days, just bad thoughts, just
okay.
knowing where I'm at and what I got to work at and try to get better.
Okay, so that's interesting. Good day. You said waking up. Would you say, do you ever wake up depressed, or you wake up and it's a clean slate?
No, I wake up depressed.
Okay, so you the general default position is you wake up depressed.
Hmm.
Okay, interesting. So every day is climbing out of that depression.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
Um, just try not to think about it and think it's another day and get ready for the whole day and go at it. Go for it for another day.
So that's really interesting. So you wake up and you're depressed. So you right now you're better than you were when you woke up.
Yeah.
And 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 you say you don't think about it. So that's what I guess this depression is this. Yeah, I want to know what depression feels like. Like, is it something the way you said don't think about it? So that almost seems like it's this like it's an outer force. It is
Yeah.
like, and you can push it away, or you're pushing it down. Do you feel like you're pushing it down, or you're pushing it out of you, or
Trying
you're
to
pushing
push
it?
it away.
Okay, that's
I
good.
guess
I
trying to
mean,
push it away.
okay, so it actually seems like a force that's like trying to
Hmm.
consume you,
Yeah.
and you're able to push it out of the way. So what's the first thing you do when you wake up? Do you lay there awake for a while, or do you wake up, get a coffee, or
Yeah,
go
later.
walk?
And I guess seeing the dogs make my day better. Seeing
Animals are
puppies,
great.
yeah,
You have
that's
five.
one of the best things. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And then and then so you get exercise every day,
Yeah.
and you start the day
Mostly
with
we try to go to the gym every day,
nice.
but some days Rose is working, so it's kind of harder.
Yeah.
So, but I'm
And
gonna start trying to do stuff at home, like
yeah,
sit ups and stuff like that.
push-ups.
Oh, push ups, I wish I could do. I can't do that.
You can't do push-ups.
No,
Why not that?
with
Just
my left hand.
your left hand.
Hmm.
So is your left side the same, or is your leg better than your arm, or
I guess it's the same.
okay. So you couldn't so why can't you do one-handed push-ups?
Those I haven't really tried.
You can if it's more about balance, how you sit. Like you can't put your hand regular up in front. I mean, you could, but that would be hard. You kind of put it out.
Hmm.
Maybe you could do it. Um, what about pull-ups? Could you do pull-ups at the gym? Like
No, I tried that.
even with a okay. So you're not able to do any weight. I mean, you could obviously do one hand, but you couldn't do like a barbell or anything. What lightweight?
I've tried it. I've done it a little bit, not a lot though.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Nice. And can you ride a bike? Yeah.
Yeah, I can ride a bike.
Oh, you can ride a bike. Okay, I remember that was a big benchmark. Maybe you did tell me,
I
but
can actually
I
ride a bike
remember
pretty damn good now.
what's that?
I can ride a bike pretty damn good now.
Nice. That's good.
But that's one good thing, like positive that
Yeah.
I couldn't
And
do.
yeah, no, okay. That's yeah, I remember. I think did you have like a one of them tandem bikes or something at
Yeah,
first?
we did.
You did, and now you can do it by
We have
yourself.
a regular bike, a little
You-
it's an electric bike.
okay, but it's still
It's
oh
still pedal and stuff
you
like that.
pedal, but it kind of helps you get up hills and stuff. It's like
Hmm.
charging, or you're actually charging the battery when you're
Yeah,
pedaling.
no, you charge it here and then we take it out so it's fully charged.
Oh, okay.
So we
But
go on bike rides with the kids all the time.
okay. Do you still take the tandem one for fun?
No, we haven't for a long time.
Yeah.
I don't like that thing anyway
Why?
because my wife threw me off of it. I rolled on the grass.
Yeah. On
Yeah,
purpose?
yeah, on purpose. She did it. No,
Why?
she said. I remember what she said. She said something like, "We're not gonna be able to stop." And fucking, I tried to jump off, and that was it.
Oh, so you try. Okay. You tried to jump. Okay. And swimming, you can swim?
Yeah, I can swim. Okay, not the best, but okay.
Okay. Yeah, that seems like a good exercise because it's yeah, you can uh yeah, it's kind of resistance, but it's not
Yeah,
stress. It's not like a barbell is kind of tough. You know, that's too you got to really stabilize, which I mean, of course, is going to be good, but swimming seems like it'd be a good way to work up to that.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Day
uh,
by day.
yeah, nice. So it's late there now, right? It's evening. I saw you yawning a couple times. You
Eleven
get
34.
okay. So yeah. Well, yeah, excellent. Cody, thanks for uh talking with me about so many things, and uh we'll catch up again. And you're gonna come out here to
Yeah,
Earthly
one day. Yeah.
someday. Yeah. This will be the place. That's actually yeah. Just as I'm saying this, I like saying this. I like putting this idea out in the universe. At first, when I was starting this podcast, I was thinking, yeah, maybe I'll get a big following, but really, actually, or I mean, I kind of want to reach people I don't know, but really, I think, you know what, I've got enough. Sometimes the social media and stuff is like the more people you have in your group, the less you're not as close to them. I've got maybe like 25 people that I feel pretty close to, and I'd like, yeah, I to have those people kind of talk regularly. I kind of like just having it. I mean, it's not necessary to record it. It's kind of like some people aren't comfortable. You seem exactly the same. If I'm talking to you, recorded or not, you don't care. So that's cool. I like that. I like it. I like having a record of it. Plus, it makes it more like I'm gonna do it. It makes me focus on some specific questions that I want to ask. So it kind of helps me, and this is definitely for me mostly. But I feel like I guess my goal is like when I'm 60, I want to go black out from the media. So social media. So it's like but I want to create something. But by then, but by then I still want to connect. Anybody, if I do connect with anybody during this time, I'm willing to take on new friends maybe during that time. But then like at that time, I just want to like kind of revert, just live off the land. And then so even if you don't make it out anytime soon, definitely in those like when we're when all our kids are grown up, that's probably what it'll be anyway. When that, and just to like, yeah, I'm in the. I mean, I'm creating something now. It's in the work. It's connected to this. What we're doing right now, keeping that close connection because, I mean, you're part of my life, part of my development. Like during a certain period, right? There's a period when what we were doing was just like that was it was intense, like just the training and the living. I mean, you moved me into that gym and stuff. There's so many more stories actually. Maybe we'll talk about, but uh it was good having this chat, and
Yeah.
we'll do it again.
All right, brother.
All right, I love you. Bye.
Love you too, Chris. Love you,
Bye.
brother.
See you.